Be'ezrat Hashem, we're back in the Limud of Shulchan Aruch, Halachot Shabbat Shulchan Gimel. We are in the middle of Mishnah Berurah. We're actually holding by Sif Katan. What is it? Zayin. Okay, today is the fourth day of the Chodesh Av. Today is the Shur is Leilui Nishmat Dilbar Bat Ksio. Okay, so Be'ezrat Hashem is the Thursday, the fifth day of the week of Parashat Shabbat Devarim. We're holding by Sif Katan Zayin. V'tanur. Okay, so now, what about renting a tanur? We already explained that the halacha in the olden days, unfortunately, not everybody could afford an oven, so they would have a communal oven, community oven, where basically in the center of town, somebody, or whatever, in a place of a town, a person would build a big oven, and everybody would bring their either dough or their, depends, basari. Most people, basari, I don't know if people ate chalavi in the olden days, right? There's even shaila if you're allowed to eat. How do we know in the Torah that you're allowed to eat milk? What is milk in reality? Where does milk come from? You know?
Well, from the animal.
What?
From the cows.
It's blood. Milk is blood. You know that, right? Blood turned into milk. Mm-hmm. That's what they're saying. It's by women. Where does milk come from?
No, that's true.
Production. Production of her milk in the body turns into blood, turns into the milk. And therefore, I guess maybe that's one of the reasons. Also, she doesn't have a period when she is breastfeeding. Right? There's the whole circulation over there. So there's a shaila. How do you know from the Torah you're allowed to eat milk? Everywhere in the Torah it says basar tuchlu. All the korbanot basar tuchlu. Everything is eating basari. Mm-hmm. Right? Yeah. So where's the concept of milk? By the way, Chinese don't even touch milk products. Yeah. No milk. They don't eat milk products. Yeah. So by the way, the Torah tells us from the fact that it says Lo tavashel b'di b'chalev imo. When it says to you, the Torah, we learn it actually from a prohibition. We'll hear from there bichlal la v'ata shomea. Can? Because it says no. That's how you hear yes. So where's the no? The no says in the Torah that you're not allowed to eat meat and milk together. So what do you learn from here? That if milk by itself and meat by itself, you're allowed to eat together. Mm-hmm. So that's the general understanding how we have permission to eat milk. Yeah. But in reality, all the Navi, everything is talking about eating basar. That was the normal thing. So now, in all of this, they had such a tanur that everybody would come and bake. So I guess there were different sections, basari, bachalevi, whatever. A person, maybe, I don't know if they ate lasagna, I don't know, ziri, I don't know. But maybe yes. So he says, what about tanur? This ovens also used to have a name of an owner. Again, tanur, I believe, is more prevalent because an oven, in the public oven, it will be more prevalent because everybody knows this is a kosher oven. But for us, so the halacha says, the Shulchan Aruch said, that a tanur, oven, that the tanur dino kemerchatz. So he says that the oven, the public oven, is just like a public bathhouse. Since you're not allowed to rent out a public bathhouse, it says clearly. So Shulchan Aruch says so too is the public oven. You're not allowed to rent out on Shabbat for a goy. So Mishnah Berurah explains, le'askir tanuro le'efot bo dino kemerchatz. Now, what would you say? Let's say you're just baking bread. Forget about basari or milk stuff. Just bread. Usually people don't put any flavoring in bread. Sometimes they put milk. What is it called? We're going to put milk into the flour to make bread. Muffins. It's not bread. So usually it's not. Nobody bakes milk and bread. It's not common. So that's why a pot of a bread of a goy will be at mutar from a goyish bakery. Would be mutar. Why? Because usually, as long as all the ingredients are kosher, right? So this is what happens here. What happened here is now the goy comes to the Jew and says, "I want to rent from you the oven," and he's allowed to. He's allowed that. You don't have to kosher it. It's okay. It's fine because don't forget if as long as there's no non-kosher ingredients. So the goy usually rents out the oven. On Shabbat, if it's a Jew's oven that usually everybody knows this is a Jew's oven, on Shabbat will be asur, right? Because just like the bathhouse, the tanur nami en derech laskiro v'litno ba'arisut kumo mirchatz. Because usually people don't rent out the ovens for the period of what's his name, a contract for a long term, like make your own arisut, like we said, like you do with the field. So in that, because it's not normally done, therefore you're not allowed to give it, not allowed to rent it out. V'yachshidu d'schir yomu etzlo. So what would people think? People would think that the Jew allowed the goy to come and open his business on Shabbat, open business, and all the money, the goy is actually what? The goy is just, what's his name? A worker, a daily worker. So all the money who's making? The Jew. He's just paying him the salary. That would be people thinking, even though it might be not true. But because in that town, it's not normal to give out the oven in that concept of arisut, like we already discussed, in reference to bed house, there will be asur of marita ayin. Next. Chet. Verechaim. Oh, what about rechaim? Rechaim, dino kesadeh. Rechaim is a mill, grinding mill. Right? A grinding mill, they grind the flour. So if it has a Jew's name on it, this is Sofer mill. This is Obadiah's mill. Everybody knows it, Obadiah's mill. So then it will be mutar, even there. Mutar. Why? Because there, I guess you are renting out the location. You're just renting out the location, and so the rabbi would say it will be dino kesachir. Let's see what Bishop Berurah says. Because it's a common thing to rent to do a deal over the what's his name of the mill. What does that mean? So like this: a goy comes and says, "You're the owner, right? You're the owner. You live in the city. You're not in the town." So the guy comes to you and says, "Listen, you have a mill over here. I want to use it. I want to run it for you. So whatever it brings in throughout the year, we'll split." So since it's a common thing by arisut, you're allowed to do it if it's common.
That's a common way of doing it.
Right, okay. Right. Then it's not a problem. Everybody knows you're not there. He's not your employee.
Yeah.
He's doing it for himself. You're getting 30%. Don't forget, he's not paying you rent. The easiest thing in the world, if a goy rents something from you and pays you rent, nobody has a problem with that. Because he's paying rent. What do you want? Yeah. But over here, it's not that. Over here, he comes and he's using your mill, and he's actually going to split with you the profit. He's going to split. What about the profit of Shabbat? It doesn't matter. Because there's no shot. Everybody knows he took it on the resut. This is the way to the business in that town. So that would be not a problem. We are not talking about, obviously, where you are there a full week and then he comes in just for Shabbat. We're talking about that you gave him the mill the whole year. Well, that's a very important nekudah. You can't have a business where you work the whole week together and then you disappear on Shabbat and say, no, that's arisut. That doesn't work like that. Because now everybody knows that the profit of Shabbat is coming to you and that could be a big problem. And then there also there will be heterim, depends how you design the contract structure. We'll be all learning that, hopefully that's what we're here for. However, look at what Ran brings down, that if in that area it's not common to rent out the 10 rechaim barisut, to take out the mill in that category of arisut, there will be the same thing. There will be a sur like a bed house. ובאמת תלוי בכל אלו הדברים לפי מנהג המדינה בין להקן בין להחמיר ולגמר בסעיף. So all these things will be categorized. That the truth of the matter, says Mishnah Berurah, that it all depends on the minhag medina, the custom of the relevancy of that city, what they do in reference to their businesses. Okay, we're going to end over here so that they don't stop us. Baruch Adonai L'olam. If you have to make a parnasa, make parnasa b'shefa v'nachal b'simcha.